guys, if you went to Sunday school in the 1980s or prior to that, you might remember the felt storyboards that the teachers sometimes used. So what has that got to do with gardening and garden planning? Stay tuned and I'll show you. My gardening planning, I like to have something visual. I sometimes will draw out like a little map of what my garden is and draw it to scale, of course, because I'm picky like that. But I like to lay everything out on paper so I know how much space I need for each plant, where my rows are going to go, and sometimes you need to rotate crops in different areas. So that helps me arrange things and see it on paper. Now last year what I did was I bought this dry erase board. It's pretty big. You can see it's got cursive writing. I was teaching the kids how to write cursive last summer. But last year I used construction paper and magnets. This is a magnetic board. So I just cut things out on pieces of paper and laid them out here and stuck them on with magnets and also some tape. But the problem with that was it took a ton of magnets to get all those little pieces in the places that I wanted them. You can get magnetic sheets in different colors and use that as well. I think you can just cut it with scissors. But what I wanted to try is a felt board. Now I'm going to turn it over onto this side. This is I think cardboard or some kind of lightweight board on the back. And I'm just going to use some spray adhesive, and I got some pieces of felt here that I'm just going to cut to size and spray them with the spray adhesive and stick them on. Now I'm going to use the white on the board, and the green part I'm going to use to cut just pieces, you know, to represent the rows of plants for my garden, and I'll label those and all that later. But what I want to do is I don't want to get anything sticky on this frame, I guess you call it frame. So I'm going to cover that with some masking tape, and then I'll spray this board with the spray adhesive and stick the felt on. I'm hoping that will work. That way I can just use this and stick the felt pieces on wherever I want them, rearrange them, and kind of get a visual idea of what I want my garden to be. One thing you want to be really careful of when you're using the spray adhesive, it gets all over everything, so you need to really cover the area. Anything that you don't want to get sticky, you need to cover up. I'm going to do this outside on the deck, and it's a little bit breezy, so I'm going to try to spray when the breeze dies down. But I'm going to cover my table and kind of the surrounding area, I think, just to make sure that the glue only gets on here. So, alright, let's get started. I'm going to put the felt on here and kind of get an idea of where I need to cut that. It's almost the right size already, just this scrap piece. So I'm going to cut it just so it goes about to there, around there. Whatever you cover your table with, you're going to want something that you don't care if it gets sticky. I'm just using some garbage bags here and cutting them open so that they'll be like a tablecloth. And then when I'm done, I can just throw these away. Okay, what I'm using here for glue is Elmer's Craft Bond Multi-Purpose Spray Adhesive. Depending on how you use it, it can be a temporary or a permanent bond. So carefully read the instructions. Use at your own risk, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to trim up these sides. There's a little bit of it that came over the edge because when I put it down it stuck right away and it was hard to get it exactly where I wanted, but this is pretty good. It worked out good. And I'll just trim up those edges a little bit. Okay, this went on pretty good. I'm very happy with it. It laid out flat and kind of pressed down and stuck really well to that adhesive. Took the tape off around the border, and it just came out pretty good. Now I'm going to get that other color felt and cut out strips that will be garden rows. So the scale I'm using is 1/2 inch equals 1 foot. So I can cut out strips of felt that will be the right proportion sizes of rows for the plants that I want to plant in the garden. And I can just lay those out here and label them and rearrange them as I want. Just to give you an idea of what this is going to look like when I'm using it, I cut some felt strips that will represent garden rows. And I can stick these on here on this board and rearrange them, move them around. I can keep this board flat, or I can prop it up like this. And the pieces will stay on there until I peel them off and move them around. So it's a very quick way to plan things out and kind of lay them out. And for anybody that's a very visual person like I am, it's nice to be able to mess with things like this and be able to see it, what it's going to look like. So what are you doing for your garden planning this year? Are you using something like this hands-on, or are you using a chart, or do you map it out in your head? Leave a comment below and tell us what you're doing. It's fun to be inspired by other people's ideas too. So if you like what we're doing here, click the subscribe button, and on our website you can also subscribe to our emails. And I guess that's it for now. I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.